I want to see the zoo, she said, I want to see the zoo. I want to see the zoo, she said, I want to go with you. I want to see the lions and the tigers too.
I want to see the zoo, she said, I want to see the zoo.
Hey, come on, Ray! Come on, Ray! Well done, Ray! That was very good, Ray! I couldn't help myself. For those listeners, for a dear listener, me and Roger Horace just did our very own rendition of the hilarious rubbish song from probably still one of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life, called Nuts in May from 1976, directed by the wonderful Mike Lee, that British filmmaker. And it's starring Alison Steadman, who's had a, glittering career over the years, and Roger Sloman, mate, who plays Keith, who should have swept the awards or whatever, because he absolutely embodies Keith, doesn't he, in that role. It's a genius performance. And it's weird, because I've checked out Roger Sloman's career, and I don't, forgive me if I'm wrong, dear listener, but I'm pretty sure Roger Sloman has either had no other lead performances in movies, or very few, but he's in EastEnders. He crops up in EastEnders, and he's even been in Bottom over the years.
Yes, he's one of my favourite bit part people who crops up in random programmes. And like you say there, I didn't know we were going to steam into Nuts in May until just earlier. But Nuts in May is a fantastic piece of television, and I've got a digital copy of it that I got from somewhere so that I can have it preserved forever, because it was only available on video, wasn't it, for quite a long time, and it was on BBC Two about 2:00 in the morning when it was first on, I think.
Yeah.
But Roger Sloman, interestingly, plays the shopkeeper in Bottom in the episode when they mine the shop. He comes in to the shop, and he's getting Richie and Eddie to look after the shop at very short notice for him, He says he's completely forgotten about his stupid mother's bloody funeral, and he comes into the shop all panicking, and he just has a line every so often, and one of the lines in it is, he says £200 for a coffin, and they set fire to the bastard, which had me in stitches for months after I saw him do that. And he's also in The Young Ones.
Is he? I didn't know he's in The Young Ones.
Yeah, he plays the TV detector man. Vivian's pretending to eat the telly. And he comes in the house and starts giving him a hard time about having a telly.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's made my day. He's in The Young Ones.
And he said, how did you know? Neil says to him, how do you know we had a telly? And he says, we detected it. And he said, oh, so you've just been playing with me all along? And he says to him, wow, he said, it's better than playing with yourself. Ho, ho, cheap sexual illusion makes the world go round. He has the best lines in those two shows. Roger Sloman, what an absolute legend. You're quite right, yeah. And he's hilarious looking, which helps.
He is. But if anyone wants a rip-roaringly, absolutely brilliant, sort of real low-budget British movie, it's just classic Mike Lee, really. It's very documentary style. I know they ad-libbed quite a lot of the lines. The script was very loose. And Mike Lee, he's always tended to make very British films about British people and the sort of the zeitgeist of the time, often in a sort of social commentary style. And it just doesn't get more hilarious than Nuts in May, does it? It's very subtle, and it's almost, you watch it sort of confused for the first time, then you watch it again, and the more you watch it, the more hilarious and genius it becomes, wouldn't you say, Horace?
I heartily agree. It's a fantastic piece of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the era of, I think, was it filmed in the 80s, or was it the very, very late 70s?
1976.
70s, okay. So it's filmed in an era when people used to go camping, because obviously people that haven't seen it, primarily, without spoiling it, two people go camping, and then they go on a trip, don't they? But they end up camping. But my grandfather and grandmother used to go camping in exactly the same way. And my grandfather used to have everything organised down to the last pristine thing, And that's the whole sort of premise of Nuts in May, which is that Keith's got everything completely organised, even what they're doing every day. And my grandfather used to do exactly the same.
Well, as Keith Pratt from Nuts in May would say, leave it to me, Candice Marie.
Welcome to Backstage Pass, the comedy music podcast by a couple of ex-bandmates with banter, touring stories, and essentially two blokes having a laugh. With myself, James Maverick, and my good friend, Rob Newson, a.k.a. Roger the Horace.
Anyway, Horace, after that hilarious entrance into episode 4 of season 2 of Backstage Pass, dear listener, apologies. I believe it's almost been 2 months since our last episode, but as I previously mentioned, I was suffering from burnout and I needed a break, literally from everything, because I have quite a lot of responsibilities in my life. I needed a break from all of those, and boy, have I had one. And I'm back with a bang. I've got the lead back in my pencil, and I'm raring to go. And it's good to see you, Horace. And you've been super busy as well, haven't you? So I guess all I'm going to say is, Horace, how are you, mate? And have you been eating any more After AIDS chocolates? Not After Eight, After AIDS.
I've never seen After AIDS. No, not really. Very busy, as always. What have I been doing? Let me think. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Wow.
Our slow closing toilet is no longer a slow closing toilet.
What the bloody hell does that mean?
It's now, well, we had a slow closing toilet.
You mean the toilet lid?
Yeah, the lid, yeah. The lid closes slowly so that it doesn't bang down in the middle of the night and wake all the neighbours and God knows what else. But it's gradually worked its way to being a now fully noisy, again, closing toilet. The slow closing part of the lid has gradually given out, so I've now got to replace it. So that'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Well, no pun intended, but that's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really rip-snortingly exciting thing, isn't it? I've also managed to grow a bit more thicker of a beard, you may well have noticed here. I've been working on that for about 2 months now.
I haven't seen you for so long, for so many weeks, that when you popped up on Zoom, I was amazed at the svelteness of your new appearance, because you've been getting into the fitness game, and I thought I was looking at Stringfellow Hawk, mate, with your wicked new haircut and your awesome new goatee beard, which is looking very, very sly, mate. Fair play.
Very kind of you to say. I've been getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going swimming for an hour every day, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. And I'll tell you what, in this heat, it's an absolute godsend.
Good for you.
In fact, I could quite happily go and do that now. But yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing swimming, and I've grown out a bit more of a beard here. Which we always talk about beards, that reminds me of a song by a band called the Mad Caddies. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
They released an album all about pirates, and it's called Rock the Plank, and there's a song on the album called Weird Beard.
Brilliant.
which are 2 words that aren't spelt the same way, but rhyme, which is hilarious. And it just makes me, and every time I think of the song Weird Beard, it's hilarious. But people should check out the Mad Caddies. They were like they had about 20 trumpeters and trombonists and things, and they've got a song called Monkeys, which is mate. Honestly, it sounds like circus music. It's hilarious. They're actually quite good, but they're a pop punk band anyway. So yeah, beard game, strong beard game here, I feel. And well, you've got quite a strong beard game there, haven't you?
Well, you're catching up, mate. Fair play.
I'm not going out the sides though. I'm not going out the sides, because if I start growing it out the sides, because I've only got a goatee for people that can't see. That's everyone except us two, obviously. I can't grow out the sides because I look like that. You remember that? What was that film they made with the puppets that was all about? Was it Team America?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. And they glue a load of beard randomly to his face, don't they? And it looks like he's got mange, or it looks like he's got some sort of animal disease. I look like that if I grow sides out, so I can't be bothered with that.
Well, it's probably best you don't go to work looking like a Thunderbird, but that's all good.
What else have I been doing? Well, plenty of Rich Egg Club, of course. Well, it's that exclusive... don't tell anyone about it. It's that exclusive club that we're members of. And I've heard there's an honorary member
Mate.
that's arrived literally feet first into the Rich Egg Club after your recent weekend away.
Can I interject and explain what happened?
With pleasure.
So I went to download with the lovely Hells Bells, and we were driving home. I was driving home on the motorway, and during download, as you very well know, we were forced to eat rancid food, absolutely rancid food, because that's all you get. Like the worst floppy burger and rancid sauce or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a bunch of that. And on the way home...
Here we go.
Hells Bells Rich Egged me on the way home, mate. Absolutely fudged me out to death. All the windows were open on the motorway. She was wafting around, like flapping around like crazy. She was vaping a banana flavoured vape, blowing it around, trying to. It didn't make it made it worse. Like Rich Egg and banana was even worse than just Rich Egg on its own. And then we sort of panicked for about 5 minutes to try and get the fug out. And the next time I looked in my rearview mirror, my fringe was orange. So yeah, Hells Bells is now a new honorary member of the Rich Egg Club. And all I would say to you is, isn't it a comfort to know, Roger the Horace, that even beautiful women rich egg occasionally too?
Yeah, well, I have that same problem in my house, of course. There has been the odd occasion when we've had to literally slice up the air and push it out the front door because it won't go out on its own.
Is that your wife, Kat? She's always been a member of the Rich Egg Club, though, as I remember.
Don't tell anyone about that. I'll never live it down. She'll be going berserk. She'll never live it down.
No, we'll only share it on a public forum. We'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, we'll only share it worldwide on a public forum. Yep, okay, that'll be fine. Yeah, all right. Sorry, I've been listening to this today.
What is that?
Body count,
mate. I'm recording, by the way. This is genius. Horace has just shown and blazoned his body count T-shirt, which is magnificent, by the way. So come on then, what else have you been up to, you Dillknot?
Well, I heard a story from Miss Emma Barnett, who told me that...
Emma Barnett!
She told me that one of her friends had told her this hilarious story. So you see if you think this is hilarious, which is one of her friends in America had a problem with his radiator, rang up for a central heating engineer to come round and service his radiator, and when the chap turned up at the front door, it was Adam Duce, the old bass player from Machine Head.
What the fuck?
See, that's the thing, that's the whole story. And she said that, and it's, I didn't laugh at all. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, that's apparently the story. Adam Duce from Machine Head is now a central heating engineer in America. So there you go.
Bloody hell, that's a fall from grace.
I went back to Wimpy. I haven't been there for about 2 years because I took my mother there on Mother's Day. Don't ask, it was an accident. We couldn't go to the real restaurant. We had to go there. And they've brought back the Bender, only it's now called the Bendy. So you can now go into Wimpy and ask for a Bendy. It's not quite as funny as going and asking for a Bender, but you can.
What are you talking about?
It's a sausage in a bun that's sliced round. It's cut strategically down itself. And it folds round in a circle, and it used to be a Bender, and people used to go in Wimpy and ask for a Bender, which was obviously was hilarious.
I'd like a big Bender here, please.
It was a big Bender. It was a big Bender. People, that's exactly it. Can I have a big Bender, please? No, you can't have a big Bender. How do? Can I have a big Bender? No, anyway, it's the Bendy. It's back. So you can go in Wimpy and get a Bendy. I've also built with some help, not completely by myself. I have to hasten to add. Shout out to Craig, who's on the internet as an alias as Handy Holloway. So sorry. Oh, mate, hang on a minute.
Have you upset yourself?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Oh, Lorks.
Hang on a minute. Can I smell it? I think I can smell it. It's coming down the eggy Ethernet again, for fuck's sake.
Look at that, it's green. You can see it. My friend Handy Holloway, who's a handyman, came and built me a frame for my bar.
You can see it.
And now we've covered it, and I've now got a bar in my summer house at the end of my garden. Now all it needs is decorating.
Amazing.
I'm going to be putting record deck in there, and then I'll be able to go down there, spin some vinyl, and drink some Pepsi strawberries and cream in the garden. It's going to be brilliant.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Horace, because look what I've got here.
Oh, it's a strawberries and cream. S&C, PS&C.
There is a reason I've got this Pepsi strawberries and cream. Now, as you know, I am a teetotaler because I don't drink alcohol, but my thing is Pepsi Max. I can love Pepsi Max and coffee. It's my thing.
Right.
But the reason I'm drinking
same time
this particular strawberries and cream is because a certain Bobby Dazzler phoned me up and went, "That Pepsi
Pepsi, strawberries and cream. It's fucking obscene.
And I had to go out and test his theory. And I'd just like to point out in a public forum, shout out to you, Bobby Dazzler. You were indeed correct. It is obscene, and now I can't stop drinking it. Although I still do think I prefer the original and best Pepsi Max. But this is a nice refresher when you're melting in your studio recording a podcast, as I am currently.
And as am I. And this is really nice. And apparently it's pretty much good for you as well. But he did say there's a secret tip that I haven't tried yet, which is that you should put a small dash of that Rose's lime cordial in it. And apparently that takes it to another level. But I haven't been anywhere to get that yet. So I'll be picking a bottle of that up tomorrow and see if that actually works.
I think at this point, it's probably in our best interest to point out we have not been sponsored by Pepsi or any fizzy drinks. And I'm not going to advocate Pepsi because it's not good for you, Rob. It's basically chemical gunge with Alzheimer's juice aspartame in it. So we probably shouldn't be drinking it at all. But I'd rather that than booze, to be fair.
Yeah, that's got a lot of shit in it, and I'm just reading the ingredients list here.
Absolute shit.
It says handle with care as well. That always fills you full of worry, doesn't it?
Oh.
Right, hold on just 1 second.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm going in with my PS&C like you. Hang on.
Pepsi, strawberries and cream. He's in. Oh, mate, that's have you necked the whole can?
No, hold on.
Fucking.
Do excuse me. I'm so sorry.
We're gonna get banned for rinsedness. That's what we're gonna get banned for.
Again? I doubt it. How are you, anyways? Your turn.
Mate, as I say, I don't want to witter too much, but you've asked me a question, and I have been up to a lot because I basically had a month off because I was suffering from burnout. But the first thing I've got to say is, when I got back from my travels, I had a bit of time with Isaac, my son, and one of the first things he said to me was this. He wasn't making a joke, straight as a die. We were in the car, driving back to my house, and he went, "Oh, Dad, I realise my hands are growing because I got my hands stuck in a glass jar that I've been using for years during a food prep lesson at school." So every like food prep lesson, he loves his food prep because he's really into his cooking. He's been using this same jar for whatever for years, and he's been able to put his hand in it. And then last week he put his hand in it and it didn't fucking come out again. And he had to get the teacher to put fairy liquid all over his knuckles to get it out. Bless him. Now, in answer to your question, I went to visit my good friend Jason in Orlando for a week. And shout out to you, Jason, if you're listening. He's such a sweet guy, and he showed me the best time ever. And all I can say is I'd never flown by myself before, even though I've reached the big 5-0, because it's sort of never come about. I've never just done it. But I absolutely loved it. There's nobody else to consider, so you can do whatever you want and not, worry about bothering anyone. And on the way over, I had a 2-seater aisle all to myself, which was awesome and really comfy because I'm 9'7", so I could sort of slumber about. But on the way home, I got lumbered next to a blubber starch fat bird who was sagging over my side of the armrest. So the flight home was absolute shit, but it was definitely worth it. It was a trip of a lifetime, mate. It was absolutely brilliant. And Jason just showed me the best time. And thank you so much, my friend. I think it's worth saying, I think it pays to go and stay with a local when you go and see the world like that, 4,500 miles away from where I live. Because, it was 38 degrees all week, barely a cloud in the sky. But it's bearable because what the Floridians do is they go out into the heat for a little bit and then duck back into the aircon. And there's aircon everywhere and it's gorgeously cold and cool. And it's just a lovely way to exist. Yeah, and rather than sort of go over to Orlando and not stay with a local, I think I would have done all the obvious touristy things, like Universal and Disney World and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to sort of, if you go and stay with someone local, they're like, oh, well, don't do all that obvious touristy shit. You want to do this because this is the real Orlando. Do you know what I mean? And so you can soak up all the culture and stuff.
100%. when we go to America, sorry to chime in there, we go on a bus tour the first day of the city, do one of those cheesy hop-on, hop-off bus tours, because they're really good to get a bearing of what where everything is in the city and everything else.
Yeah.
And then, we're like you, we've been lucky to have friends around the world, and we go and do exactly that. We go and do all the local stuff with those. So we try and get the best of both worlds. But yeah, cool, great idea, and I'm pleased you had a good time.
Thanks, mate. I did have an amazing time. Well, I took a leaf out your book, really, and it's definitely the best way to go. And because of that, I experienced a lot of firsts that I've never experienced before. For instance, I got up close and personal with some real-life dinosaurs. I went to Gatorland. I'd never seen an alligator in real life before, only on telly. They're absolutely huge, and it was amazing. And I believe Gatorland, forgive me if I'm wrong, I think this is a fact, I believe Gatorland in Orlando is the only alligator park in the world. And I was really... Sorry, mate, what?
Alligator fact. Do you know how many different types of alligator there are?
No.
2. There you go.
Thanks.
I don't even know what the 2 are, but that was it. That was a quiz question, and it was 2. And I thought, well, I'm never going to forget that, am I? There's only 2 different types of alligator.
Yeah, you're quite right, Horace. I've just checked online, and for those that didn't know, including me, because I didn't, there is only 2, the American alligator and the Chinese alligator. So there you are. Well, the 2 different types I saw were green ones and albino ones. They had albino alligators in there.
That's probably all of them then. There's only thing because they're not breeding them anymore for purpose, because who the fuck wants one of those things in their fucking garden? They're enormous.
Yeah, they are. And I saw albino ones there, which had either pink eyes or blue eyes, which looked really quite striking. It was amazing. And so I got up close and personal with them. I fed some baby alligators. Orlando's mental. You know, they do it big style in America, don't they? We were just driving along the freeway, and at the side of the road, it said, "Crazy Golf and feed the gators." And he went, "Hey, James, we're going in here." And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Turned up. We didn't play any Crazy Golf. What we did, we went up to this desk. It doesn't matter. We weren't there for the golf. We weren't there for the golf. We went there, and they gave us 2 of these funny little fishing rods and a bag of chicken and a hook on the end of the fishing rod. You put the chicken on the end of the rod, and you dangle it in these pools. And these leery little bastard alligators come up and wrench the chicken out, and they're like, fucking hell, I nearly lost the rod. They're that powerful. And I thought, Christ, if a baby alligator can pull that out of my arm, what do the big fuckers, what are they like? Unbelievable.
Well, when we went to New Orleans, you can't say New Orleans, you get told off. New Orleans. When we went there, we went in a boat, and they were coming alongside the boat. And this woman's hanging out the bloody boat, and like the bloke's like, "Don't hang out the bloody boat, you'll have your fucking arm off, you
Mate,
stupid woman."
Stupid bin. I wouldn't bother. In Gatorland, they've got this flipping zip line thing, and you can go all the way across the main lake where all the big bastard alligators are. I'm like, mate, you're caught in a drama there. That line's going to snap, some kid's going to go in, and that's game over. They were telling me when I was over there was a story a couple of years ago at Disneyland. A family went to Disneyland. They didn't look while they were queuing up for some ice cream. Their little boy wandered off. Alligator got him. Yeah. Chomp. Goodbye. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine living in a land where you take your family to Disneyland and come back minus a child because a fucking dinosaur's eating him.
Exactly.
I mean, how grim is that? It shouldn't be funny, but it sort of is. It's so outrageous.
You know what I think of when I think of alligators is that bit in that James Bond film with the when Roger Moore runs across those alligators to get out of the alligator pen when they shut him in it. You remember?
Yeah.
I think it's Octopus. Is it Octopussy?
Live and Let Die. That's the one.
It is Live and Let Die. It's the one with the bloke with the black guy with the claw hand.
Yeah, Mr. T. He's called. Yeah, but I read about that. The stunt man that did that, apparently he had to do it about 25 times, getting snapped about by all these fucking eggy crocodiles because he kept stamping on their backs, and he was stacking it all over the place.
They all look like they're made out of rubber in the film, don't they? They don't look. Are they real? Were they?
They're absolutely real, yeah. I did read that. There was no CGI back in those days, mate. You had to grab a second pair of bollocks to get that stunt done.
I thought they made like model alligators and made them move and things. Sorry.
Well, not according to that documentary, I didn't.
No, okay, fair enough. It's a great bit of film, though.
It is.
There's nothing better than watching Roger Moore running across a bridge made out of alligators in a safari suit, I have to say.
With his ginger mullet quaffing in the breeze. It was brilliant. But, mate, I had such a great time. Look, it was a first for me to go into a proper American diner and you get the old, here there, honey, want some more coffee? And she just comes up. That being a coffee head, as you know I am, that was amazing. You buy one coffee and you just stay in the diner all morning and they just keep filling up your coffee mug for free. That was absolutely brilliant. I also went to a casino in Tampa and the Hard Rock Cafe. That was an amazing experience, during which cocky Jason won $800 on a slot machine, so that was hilarious.
And you won fuck all, presumably?
I won fuck all, but then he bought us dinner, so that was all good. But, mate, then I went to the glorious Smyrna Beach, white sand beach everywhere.
Lovely.
And I swam in the Gulf of Mexico, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean, which was like a warm bath. A turtle swam past me and I got stung by a jellyfish, so mixed bag.
I didn't know that.
I got stung by a jellyfish.
I am laughing because it's funny, but I wouldn't wish to be stung by a jellyfish because they can be fatal.
Well, it wasn't a very dangerous jellyfish, but it did sting a bit. But no one had to wee on my arm. It was fine. I just got out and rubbed it a bit and it was all right.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had an epic adventure.
I did have an epic adventure and the food was amazing. And I tell you something you would have loved, Roger the Horace. I went to this Mexican barbecue place called Texas de Brazil. And I will never forget that meal because I went there with Jason and some of his friends. And what they do at Texas de Brazil is you walk in, it's a really big restaurant and they've got this huge buffet in the middle full of like salads and things. And you go and put a bunch of salad on your plate and you sit there. And then the waiter comes round and he gives you this disc. And on one side, it's green, bright green, and it says, yes, please, I want more. And you flip it over on the other side, the disc is red and it says, I'm full, thank you. And he passed it to me and I thought, what the hell's this all about? And Jason didn't say anything. And then before I knew it, I got my plate and we'd all sat down, we got our salad. These big double doors like flung open from the kitchen and all these waiters steam out. Almost like something out of 40 Towers, but they're not stacking it. They come out with these huge spits, like with a handle at the top, with these huge spits of all sorts of different meats on them. And they come round and they carve off massive slabs of steak, filet mignon, garlic, chicken, all this gear, and they flop it onto your plate. And as long as your disc is green, they keep bringing it out and giving it to you, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, this massive slab of steak's really nice that I'm eating here. And then before I know it, there's a bloke to my right offering me chicken. Another bloke comes up. Before I know it, I had this Mount Everest of meat on my plate.
Meat Everest.
Meat Everest, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I did have a Meat Everest, and I can categorically say that is the most meat I've ever eaten in one sitting in my life, and it was absolutely amazing. I felt like Mr. Creosote at the end of it. I thought I was going to explode.
And they had to wheel you out.
They did, but it was absolutely superb. But you would have loved that. And last but not least, I went and shot my first gun or guns. Now, I'm not an advocate of guns, and they do scare me, and it's a bit weird, but I thought, well, I want to go and do it because I'm in America. So I went and shot a Jericho 941 9mm and a Colt 1911 at a shooting range. And apparently, I'm a pretty good shotman because I shot better than the two American dudes I was with who have shooting experience. So I was quite chuffed for that. It's all those computer games I've been playing over the years. But I actually brought back my targets with all the bullet holes in them.
Oh, yeah. The thing that you shoot. Yeah. Okay, brilliant, yeah.
It was a great adrenaline rush, but I still don't like guns, but it was a great experience. And only good things to say about Florida, but my God, yeah, the portion sizes, everything over there has got starch, lard, sugar in it. Literally everything.
Oh, yeah, the food is horrendous, but awesome.
Mate, I thought we had fat people over here. But, mate, they've taken it to a whole new level in the States, haven't they? I mean, the blubber starch quota over there is on a whole new bouncy castle level, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then after all that, I ended up going to download with Hell's Bells. We just went for one day on the Saturday. And it was really good fun, except for the drive-in, Horace.
Oh, yeah. Good God.
Oh, mate. We got up, honestly, it was ridiculous. We got up really early in the morning. You and I are going to show our age here now because we're going to sit here and slag off the roads in England. But honestly, we got up really good time in the morning.
What time?
Really early. And we set off at like sort of,
Oh, yeah. Really early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really early. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What time did you go? Oh, we went really early. Oh, okay. Then.
But we left at like 8 in the morning. You'd think that was cool. And download starts at 12, doesn't it? The first band's on at 12. Loathe were playing at 12. And I like Loathe. And I wanted to go and see them. I've seen them before and they're very good.
Yeah.
So we left at 8 and the sat-nav said 3 hours, 10 minutes from here. 6.5 hours later, we trudged into the fucking download site. And it's another half an hour to park.
I'd have gone home, mate. I'd have got 3 hours deep into that. I think I'd have called it and gone home.
It was so frustrating. And Hell's Bells had never been to download before. So it was really beautiful. Just sort of, I've been like 20 times or whatever. So it was really lovely to sort of witness download through the eyes of someone that's not experienced it before. And it was really awesome. But yeah, 6.5 hours. I mean, I think we did 2 hours on the M25 doing 25 miles an hour. Absolutely ridiculous. So because of that, we didn't actually see that many bands, but we got to see Eagles of Death Metal, who I'd never seen before, who are absolutely hilarious. Have you seen them before?
No, I'm aware of their work, but I've not seen them. They were the band that were playing in the not Batafar, in France when that person went in with a shotgun. Remember that story a little while ago?
Wow.
Sorry, yeah, they were playing in somewhere in France, and some people went in, I think, and shot a load of people at one of their gigs, I think.
Jesus. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen this time. After that, I was delighted to see The Darkness because they're just brilliant. I love Justin Hawkins and that hilarious Lemon on the bass with his lime green suit looking all spangly. They were brilliant. Justin Hawkins is such a fantastic showman and a very talented musician.
They're very good, The Darkness. I saw them a couple of years back at Download. They were brilliant. Yeah, really good. They played their Christmas song in the middle as well. Did they play their Christmas song?
Yeah, they played the Christmas one, which is fantastic.
They don't give a shit, do they?
No, they don't give a fuck. Justin Hawkins has had his problems with addiction quite publicly over the years with cocaine and his alcohol addiction, but these days he's totally sober and by all accounts seems to be a generally lovely human being, so fair play to him. And it's just brilliant seeing him in The Darkness still going strong after all these years and delightful to see him go down so well at Download. Have you seen his YouTube channel called Justin Hawkins Rides Again? Because if you haven't, you should. It's awesome. It's
nearly as successful as this one, I believe, as this podcast. But I have listened to his podcast. It is YouTube channel. It is sometimes it's very funny, but I feel now it's there's rather it's difficult to keep up with it. I think he literally he must do a video every half an hour.
Well, I guess when he's not on tour, that's what he does.
But yeah, it's funny. I like the way he dissects all the songs up and then tells you and spoils it and tells you that they've nicked this bit from here and they've nicked this bit from here and put it together and it's this. Yeah, it's quite funny.
But he couldn't do that if he wasn't a really sound musician. I mean, his musical theory is really good. I like listening to him. And he did a massive stage dive and crowd surfed and that was brilliant seeing that. That was just really good value. And one of the bands I saw after them, because Hell's Bells, pretty much her favourite band of the whole weekend was Dayseeker. So we had to go to a different tent to see them. And I really enjoyed them. They were really good. But as we approached the tent, Mallory Knox were playing. Do you remember them?
Yeah, the singer used to have a massive ginger mullet, didn't he?
Creme de Moulet, did he?
I think he's gone. I don't think he's the singer anymore.
Oh. Well, they've been going for years, haven't they? And they never quite hit the big time, but they've been doing some Reformation shows. I have to say, they were really good, mate.
I never thought they were that they wrote it. They didn't really write a banger, did they? I think that was their sort of problem. Their stuff was just sort of bubbling under. It was like a cauldron waiting to go. They never wrote their banger.
So you don't like Dayseeker either, then? That gets a big from you, does it?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the boy band vocal on top of the sort of semi-light metal band. I guess that sort of all stems back to sort of Linkin Park. I mean, I don't mind it, but when they started to put boy band singing on top of sort of, almost like gent stuff, which I know it's not really gent, is it, Dayseeker?
Well, they used to be a lot heavier, and now they've gone a bit more mainstream, haven't they? I know what you mean, which brings me on to my next band. Now, mate, if you're talking about a band that sounds like a boy band with gent riffs. Let's talk about Sleep Token, because they headlined on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I've been really confused by Sleep Token, and it's not a sound that I'm used to. And I find the genre really jarring, because they literally go from boy band plinkety plonk to massive, harsh and hugely low gent riffs. But mate, I've got to say, whoever put their live show together deserves huge credit, because I've been going to Download for years and years and years, and I don't think I've ever seen a better, more amazing live show than what Sleep Token put on Saturday night. It was absolutely extraordinary. I don't know how they did it. They had this like weird effect on all the screens that looked like all the band members were on fire. They had flames coming off them and all these huge totems around the main stage. It was bafflingly good, actually. And due to that performance, I've gone home and started listening to their stuff. But I don't know, some of it's obsessed and some of it's a bit sort of boy band. I don't really get it. Fair play to them. They were really impressive. And obviously the main guy, who calls himself Vessel, he's extraordinary. Like, on record, I didn't know this until recently, it's all him, apart from two, who plays the drums. How talented is this dude? So, yeah, it's really, really impressive.
I've seen them twice, and it's I think I'm not really sure how I feel about them, and I don't think I ever will be.
Same.
Because I kind of know what they stand for, and stage wise, I'm not faulting that, because they're at the top of their game with regards to a stage show. Like if you've ever seen Bring Me the Horizon stage show, Horizon. Sorry, Bring Me the Horizon. Their stage show is insane, and like Sleep Token, and not everyone likes their music and everything else, but you can't alter the fact that modern music, Sleep Token is at the forefront of modern music, whether people like it or not. It is, and you honestly, all online all the time, you get all the same thing. Anyone our age is going, it's a load of old shit. It's like, it's not.
Yeah, but we're old dickheads now. This is the new.
Yeah, it isn't shit. It's just that music's shifted, and as it has, and young people think that Sleep Token is brilliant stuff. When I went to their show, I see the people headbanging to the like you say, the gent parts, like the summoning and all the heavier stuff that they've done. And then when the piano bits are going, and he's doing his whole Justin Timberlake vocals over the top of a thingy, the fans are like literally like. I've seen grown men like trying to pull their own heads off, like literally standing there getting so off on it. Yeah. And he's only playing a piano and singing.
I know, it's mental.
There's like a passion that runs through it all. So I kind of get it.
We are old and we might think it's a bit shit, but you can't deny, though, that Sleep Token have tapped into something that people really like. Because when I look round at the amount of people that were in that field to see Sleep Token, there was no space left on the grass. It was absolutely rammed, full of people wanting to witness Sleep Token, and boy, did they deliver. It was unbelievable, that performance.
And that they got a load of stick for putting them headline in that festival this year. They got loads of people online moaning about it, but at the end of the day, they had 80,000 people all watching it. So it's like, there's 80,000 people that aren't moaning about it, that are quite happy to watch it, and we're enjoying it.
Well, they flipping justified it, mate.
And like you say, I've seen one show in about the last 10 years that absolutely blew me out of the water. And that would be hard. And that was Rammstein, because that their show is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another thing entirely. But I imagine it probably wasn't far different to that. But obviously, Rammstein construct their own sort of dystopian town. They don't just turn up with some guitar amps and a fucking pedal. They turn up they build a town in the middle of the arena and then play in the town. It's nuts.
All I'd say, mate, is I would urge you to go on YouTube and watch some of the...
Pardon, sorry.
Sorry, I've just been blown back in my chair. I would urge you to go on YouTube and check out some of Sleep Token's performance on Saturday night at Download. Extraordinary.
You know what I think about that, though, is if there's one thing that gets up my fucking hooter, that's people at bloody gigs videoing it and standing in front of me bloody videoing it.
Yeah, there was loads of that.
And then what I do is I go on YouTube and watch it, because I'm a scumbag. I shouldn't do that, really. I shouldn't go on YouTube and watch it.
You can't slag it all off and then lap it all up.
Because I can't slag it off if I'm going to watch it.
Well, you wanted to watch it, you'll have to make a decision. So, Roger the Horace, word on the street is that you and your lovely wife, Kat, go and do a music pub quiz. Is that every week you do that?
It's every month, and it's at the Bird in Hand pub in Henley-on-Thames, and it's run by a lovely chap called Chris Spencer, who used to run a record shop in Henley called In the Groove, or I think it's not there anymore. And he volunteer runs a lovely quiz every month. Kat's given up, but Barry Garlow does go to it, believe it or not.
Does he?
Yeah, and I've got a report, but that's later.
Yeah.
But I do a quiz, yes, monthly with Barry Garlow and a few other people. Shout out to Andrew and Mike Blackadder is one of the people as well. And that is his real name.
Well, in an ode to your pub quiz that you do every month, I'm going to do a little something of my own.
Yes, you're going to test me.
James Maverick's Rubbish 80s Quiz.
Right, so Horace, I know you love your 80s.
Love it.
I have been bigging you up all these last episodes on your encyclopedic knowledge of 80s and your amazing memory for things. So we're going to test it. Are you ready?
100%.
Right, here we go. You ready? Question 1.
Yeah, I'm ready.
How many UK number 1 hits did Madness have in the 80s?
Oh, God.
Gonna have to rush you.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to in the 80s. See, I'm tempted to say 2, but I'm also tempted to say 1. I know 1 was 100%, 1 was House of Fun. That's 100% a number 1.
Is that your final answer?
No, but I think Our House might have got to number 1 as well, but then I don't think it did. I'm going to say 1, House of Fun.
I don't bloody believe it. You're fucking correct as well, you bastard.
I told you. And I did look that up. I knew it's not as many as you think it is.
Well done, Roger the Horace. So moving on to question 2. Here we go. Which Beatle spent 9 days in a Tokyo prison in January 1980?
Christ. Okay. Well, I think, if I remember rightly, again without using lay internet, or Paul McCartney got busted for cannabis or something at an airport in Japan, I think. So I'm going to say Paul McCartney.
For fuck's sake!
It's right.
It's bloody right. You are right. It says here, Paul McCartney, on January the 16th, 1980, Paul McCartney was jailed for 9 days in Tokyo for pot possession.
There you go.
Busted upon arrival at Narita Airport in Japan. McCartney later said, "This stuff was too good to flush down the toilet, so I thought I'd take it with me."
What a legend.
And he paid for that with 9 days in a rancid jail. Oh, hang on, all my numbers have got muddled up here. Never mind, I'll carry on with this. Right, you cocky bugger.
I was going to say he came straight out of jail and recorded the Frog song, which was a big low point for him. Remember
my
that?
numbers have got muddled up here. I wanted this to be good. It is
good.
called a rubbish quiz, so here we go.
It is good.
Right, question 3. This is an easy one. If you don't get this, you really are a lemon. In which year in the 80s did Great Britain win the Eurovision Song Contest?
I don't like the year ones, but I do know the song, because the song is Making Your Mind Up by Bucks Fizz, and I think, if I'm right, it was either 80 or 81, and I'm going to say 81.
I don't fucking believe it! You absolute arsehat! How do you do this? It was indeed 1981, Bucks Fizz, Making Her Mind Up. And that's when Cheryl Baker whipped her skirt off to reveal a shorter one to get the punters' votes in. What a slag.
I remember it, and I'll let you into a little secret here.
Go on.
Which is that Bucks Fizz, I bought that 7-inch, Making Your Mind Up, Bucks Fizz, probably because of the video with Cheryl Baker's skirt covered off. It was a long skirt that come off, wanted to reveal the short one.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But Bucks Fizz's output on record is actually quite good, and people don't often listen to a lot of the other stuff, but they did a really good album right at the end of their career called Writings on the Wall, which has, do you remember the song Mambo Sailor they did?
I do not, no.
New Beginning. You need to listen to that song very loudly on a stereo, and it sounds it's all tribal drums at the beginning, and the video was them all dressed up like sort of stereotypical jungle women and men, you know, like from Carry On Up the Khyber or something. and the song Mambo Sarah, New Beginning. You play that and you'll forget how good that song actually was, and that was going to be their big comeback, and it flopped, so that it didn't make them into stars.
Well, props to you, Horace. You're 3 for 3 here. This is really impressive stuff. Now, this is a teaser, but you'll probably get this one as well. Question 4. Who was the first act to perform at Live Aid?
It was Status Quo, and they opened Live Aid with Rockin' All Over the World.
I fucking believe this. Where do you store all this shit?
Well, I'm a big fan of Status Quo.
I know.
Status Quo used to be me and my dad's band to buy all the records of when we went to the markets in Sunday mornings. So we used to collect them, and I've got about 3 million Status Quo records in the loft. Not all the same one. They're all different. And I know they opened Live Aid, and they got really trashed after they played. Rick Parfitt said they really pleased they opened it because they could get off stage and get on the brandies, which was hilarious. And look what happened to him.
Yeah, right. Well, you're 4 for 4 now. Unbelievable. I wouldn't have got any of these, but you've bloody well got... If you get 10 out of 10, I'll eat my sweatband. There you go.
Okay. If I get 10 out of 10, I'll pull my trousers and pants down live on this podcast.
You bellend.
Well, it will be.
Question 5.
Yes.
Now this is a bit of a teaser. In which city were the House Martins formed?
I should know that. But I'll tell you what I do know. If I don't know that, but if there was multiple choices, I would definitely, if one came up. Their debut album is called London 0, Hull 4. Right? So I would say it's Hull.
I literally don't fucking believe this. You absolute arsehat. It is Hull. I was trying to embarrass you here by you getting 10 wrong answers and you fucking nailed all of them. I do not believe it.
I didn't know they were formed in Hull, but I do know that that's the name of the album, so I presume it's called that's because of that.
Mate, this is only enhancing your encyclopedic knowledge even further, so this is brilliant.
Do you know what their second album's called?
I haven't got a clue.
You'll never forget it when you hear it. The second album is called The People That Grinned Themselves to Death.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Get out.
Do you remember they did Caravan of Love a cappella at Christmas?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was quite good, actually.
Sorry. If you watch them doing that live on telly, some of the videos of them doing that the time, they were absolutely spot on with their harmonies.
Yeah, they were. That was number 1 for ages, wasn't
Considering they used to play what they used to play, to do an a cappella song and be so good at it. Anyway.
Right, question 6. What was the best-selling UK single of the 1980s?
I don't know. You've got me here. Hang on, let me think.
I'm gonna put you. You've just lost £1 million.
I'm trying to think what was at number 1 for the longest period of time in the 80s. It's not Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's something... hang on a minute. Let's have a think.
Is that your final answer?
I'm going to kick myself because I should know it, but I'm going to say Merry Christmas Everyone by Slade.
Do they know it's Christmas by Band-Aid?
Bollocks! Of course it is. I knew it was a fucking Christmas one. Last, I didn't know that was the biggest selling one.
I got you. So what are you, 5 and 1 now? Well, that's not bad going, Horace. I mean, fair play. Let's move on to number 7. You should get this one, but some people slip up with this one. Question 7. What was U2's debut album released in 1980 called?
Oh, U2? Did you say? Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry, I zoned out for a second there. Boy.
Correct. It was Boy.
Boy, War. I can do the lot. Don't worry about it. Let's go. Let's move on.
Don't worry about it. Now, these last 3...
Bloody... Sorry.
Right. Number 8.
Yes.
Love Song was a duet between which two artists?
Oh. Love Song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is a teaser, this one.
I only know Love Song by The Cure. I don't know Love Song. Is it two separate words?
Two separate words, Love Song.
Oh, mate, I've never heard that before.
Do you want me to tell you?
No.
No.
Are they American?
Well, come on, I can't give you clues.
Okay,
Do you want a clue?
okay. Love Song. I can't even think how Love Song
I'll give
goes.
you a clue. One of them is American.
Right, okay, that still doesn't help. I don't know. I was going to say Renee and Renata, but neither of them are American.
This was a tough one. It's Madonna and Prince. And Prince wrote it. It's a brilliant track, and it's on Like a Prayer from 1989. I think it's the third track.
I didn't know that. Sorry. Was it released as a single then, was it?
It was not, but it's on the record.
Oh, right, okay. Well, okay. Fair enough. I don't listen to Like a Prayer. I don't think it's very good. Sorry.
Oh, well, we won't bloody listen to it ever again then. That's fine if it's not very good.
It's not our best album. It's patchy, Like a Prayer. It's when the rot started to set in for me.
I just love it because the gloriousness of Jeff Porcaro's drums lives on that record. And, you know, he's an absolute ledge. Moving on to question 9. Which American singer released the track Edge of 17?
That is Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac when she went solo. And I think the album it's on is called Rooms on Fire or something like that.
Unbloody believable. Exactamundo, correct.
It's a good song too. And people think it's Fleetwood Mac, but it's a really good song, Edge of 17.
It is. Question 10. Which two artists performed the song Up Where We Belong?
Joe Cockend and Jennifer Warnes.
That's very, I've just had to hit
Mate,
record
put the
again.
record on. You're missing all this.
I am. It's really taking me
With Steve Banff on drums.
with a fucking Dobber V-neck. Oh, having just blown a gasket from Joe Cockend, I'd just like to point out that you got a glorious 8 out of 10, Roger the Horace, and well done, because I did genuinely pick out some really tricky 80s quiz questions. I don't think I would have got the majority of them, so fair play. Your reputation is intact, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, 8 out of 10. That's pretty credible. In all fairness, I quite surprised myself there.
Anyway, Roger the Horace, you alluded to this gentleman earlier, and I've got to ask, how is Barry Garlow?
Barry Garlow is Barry Garlow. He's doing all right. Shout out to Barry. He knows who he is. He had a bit of trouble with his van, though, as you would expect. He was telling me at the quiz. He was dropping some people off somewhere. I think it was Waco Jake was with him and Dave the Drain Man, and he was dropping them both somewhere, and he got the back bumper of the van caught under another car's bumper, right?
Right.
Which, sorry, that's always funny. He's got a reversing camera, but the camera had steamed up, so he couldn't see using the camera. So he thought the best way to get the bumper out from under the car would be to apply more pressure to the accelerator than you would normally apply.
Right.
Which he promptly did, and obviously there was quite a lot of resistance, but ultimately the van then went forwards and he got the front bumper stuck under the vehicle in front.
Hang on a minute. Did he so he unclenched from the rear bumper, shot forward and then smashed into the front one?
Yeah, he unhooked it from the one behind and then got it stuck onto the one in front. But luckily, he said he had a look around out of the windows and there was nobody looking out of any of the windows at all. So he thought the best solution would be to just drive away. So he did.
So he ruined 2 sets of bumpers. Was his van totally
He
fine,
ruined
though?
2 cars and his van was fine. So it was all right.
So, Roger the Horace, it's come to that time in the show whereby I sent you a record earlier this week, didn't I? Which was Architects very impressive new opus, The Sky, the Earth and All Between, released back in February of this year, and to much acclaim. And I think it's awesome, and wondered what you made of it. Now, I reckon this might be up your street, actually, bearing in mind the arguably more mainstream direction Architects have been heading in musically in the last few years. So without further ado, it's now time for...
Roger the Horace's album review.
So, Horace, what did you actually make of Architect's new opus? That good, eh? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, bye. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, bye. You've been listening to Backstage Pass with myself, James Maverick, and Rob Newson, a.k.a. Roger the Horace. If you want to get in touch with us lemons or ask us a question to discuss on the show, please do get in touch via Instagram by using our handle, which is @BSPpod, or by sending us a direct email to bsppod@protonmail.com. This podcast is brought to you by Maverick Audio and produced by me. If you'd like your podcast or any other production produced, then visit my website at www.maverickaudio.co.uk and message me via the contact form. Thanks so much for listening. Remember to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until the next time.
Joe Cockend and Jennifer Warnes.